Where's the what's your name, Prabhu? Jayesh. Where are you from? Oh, really? You're to US or just to New York City? To City. Where were you before? Okay. So you're studying here or looking for job? Working. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. Very difficult to find job now. Mm, Where do you work? Okay. And in which company? Okay. Hare Krishna. All of you doing well. What's your name, Prabhu? We met in the afternoon. Avinash, yes. My name is Arjun. Nice to meet you. Okay. Congratulations. Where do you stay? Where do you stay? Oh, really? Like walk or drive? Wow. Where near the mobile petrol gas station? By Barclays Center. Okay. Very nice. And you also work in the city? Okay. Very nice. Thank you for coming. Okay. Hey, Gaurav किधर है? Gaurav? ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदवनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, can you bring my Gita Subodhini book? Hare Krishna. So we will proceed our study of the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Bol. Aryan किधर है? Hare Krishna. Nice to meet you again. He has exams going on, Aryan? Okay. So if I'm right, we were discussing the qualities of Yoga Yukta. Yoga Yukta is a person who has perfected his activities to be engaged in Krishna Seva. Okay, so Krishna is now explaining how does a Yoga Yukta behave, what are his activities. So today we'll cover maybe 2 or 3 verses, and in those verses we'll take home a very valuable lesson, something on equal vision. Krishna says we all want to be perfect in this world. We all want to be the best of ourselves. We want to be the best form of ourselves. We want to be the most evolved, the most wise. So Krishna, when we say about Yoga Yukta, Krishna is basically talking about how does a person who is perfect, how does he behave? The way he speaks, the way he acts, the way he responds, the way he deals with this material world is completely different than what otherwise people think a perfect person should behave like. Hmm? So, therefore, Krishna in this fifth chapter, he goes on explaining different characteristics. So, before we proceed ahead, maybe can we take 2 minutes of revision? What did we study last time? We always expect the initial few minutes of revision. Yeah.
Talking about Prabhuji, like the three modes of nature and how anything or any action we do, it's because of those three modes of nature. And even if we do not want to act, we would be like pushed to act because of the three modes of nature.
Okay, very good.
Like those are like sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic.
Okay. We are forced to act by the three modes of material nature. So you are also forced to act. Okay. Thank you. Anything else from last time? What did we discuss? Yeah. Any knowledge? Okay. I will not ask what is the spiritual knowledge. Yeah. Okay. 90% correct. No, it's 90% correct answer. The soul is doer yet the non-doer. Okay. Who can explain how is soul doer but not the non-doer? The soul desires. Yes. So the material nature is fulfilling or facilitating soul's desire, isn't it? Okay. Thank you. Now it's 100%. Anything else? What did we discuss? Yeah.
Both the Sankhya, uh, those who are trying to, I don't know why there is this,
We can hear you nicely.
those who are trying to uh, understand the material nature and try to get to the root of it, and versus those who are doing karma yoga, both if are doing it properly converge at the same end.
Good.
It's like, as the purport says, it's like finding the root or watering the root. That's the analogy given.
Very good.
And those who find the root, which is Vishnu, if they are set in the right consciousness, will actually end up serving Vishnu.
Very good. Okay. Thank you. Actually, recently I was going to the Bhagavad Gita. So there, Krishna mentions in later on in the 12th chapter. Also, he has previously mentioned 12th verse of this chapter. We have already discussed the beginning of yoga. Actually, yoga starts with giving up attachment to the fruits of one's work. Till the time we are not detached from the fruits of our work, we are not present in yoga. So in the 12th chapter, Krishna gives various categories to explain to Arjuna. See, Arjuna, the best yogi is that person who can fix his mind completely on me. Just a request, online devotee, if someone can, there's some noise coming, please mute yourselves. So 12th chapter, Krishna is saying, he's giving different categorization of perfected being, and the perfect person, perfect devotee is one, or perfect yogi is one, Krishna says, who can fix his mind completely on me. Then Krishna says that is not possible. mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya. Mayi buddhim niveshaya means use your intelligence to fix on me. Fix your intelligence on me by contemplation. Then he says, if that is not easy, it's very difficult. Then he says, okay, now you learn how to fix your mind. And that is called as sadhana bhakti. In sadhana bhakti, the mind is very fickle. Mind is not fixed. Therefore, people often jump from different occupation, one occupation to another. People often jump from places to places. People feel the grass is always green on the other side. It's just the nature of the fickle mind. Why? The fickle mind is never satisfied. Whatever you might get, the fickle mind is never satisfied. If you're rich, the mind says better to live in a farm and better, all this wealth is useless, better be poor. If you're poor, the mind says better be rich. If you've come to the US, mind says better go back to India. What is in US? If you're in India, mind says what is in India? There's no progress, no career. Let's go to the US. So the mind is always thinking of something else rather than current position. This is the nature of chanchala mind, or the mind which is not fixed. So therefore, in the third category, Krishna explains that a yogi tries to fix his mind on Krishna. How does he do that? As the mind wanders, he brings it back to Krishna. That's the third category. That's called as Abhyasa Rupa Bhakti. The first level is Smaranatmika Bhakti. Second level is Mananatmika Bhakti. Third level is Abhyasa Rupa Bhakti. And if that is not possible, Krishna says, because all these three are working on the internals. Internals is very difficult to work on if the externals are not under control. Isn't it? So Krishna says the fourth level, if you're not able to even practice sadhana bhakti, that means trying to fix your mind on Krishna by hearing, chanting, coming to temple, offering fruits or flowers to Krishna, or taking prasadam. If this is also very difficult, mind is very obstinate, is not listening at all, then Krishna says what you have to do is control your senses. So the fourth one, Krishna says, work with the external. That means you just work for me. Because there is a certain level of purification required to even practice Abhyasa Rupa Bhakti, the third level. So if you're not a third level, Krishna says, practice at fourth level. Fourth level is do activity for me. For example, say kitchen requires cleaning. Yeah. And while cleaning, you might not be actively remembering Krishna in the mind, but Krishna says, not a problem. Just dedicate your activity to me. That means you have done activity which is just for Krishna. Now someone might ask, Prabhuji, but I am working only for Krishna. I am working in my company only for Krishna. No. That is not counted. That comes to fifth level. Fourth level is direct activity for Krishna. Washing the pots, cleaning the temple. You gave 2 hours and helped clean the temple. That becomes the fourth category. That means you work for Krishna. Even if working for Krishna is so difficult because of time constraint, or some people might feel, what will my friends think? I'm not a very cool person because I'm going to temple. So if that is also very difficult, then Krishna says fifth level. Fifth level is you do what you want to do, whatever work you're doing, continue your work, but be detached from the results. You give your results up completely, no attachment to the fruits of your work. And that is the fifth level, is the beginning of yoga. Someone says, no, I want to work, I want to do what I want to do, and I'll also be attached to the fruits of my work. It's not yoga, isn't it? So therefore, whatever fruits, so the basic level is to start from the fifth level, and that is at least to be detached from the fruits of work. How many of you are detached from the fruits of work? Thank you for honesty. It's not easy. To be detached from the fruits of work is not easy. Some people say, Prabhu, if I'm detached from the fruits of my work, I will have no motivation to work. That means the mind is not pure. Because we are working on the basis of fruitive mentality. कुछ मिलेगा इसके लिए काम करेंगे. Krishna says this is not good. So what does Krishna expect? You have to work. Some people, if I say you will not get anything out of it in this world by working, it's not that you cannot work. You have to work. Because in third chapter, Krishna says, as one of you was mentioning, Krishna says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtata karma krit. That means not even for a moment, soul can remain silent. Because in the material world, having been here for a long time, it has associated with the three modes of material nature and it has formed something called as swabhava. Swabhava means deep impression or vasanas. You have heard of the word vasana? Yeah? Deep impressions. So the deep impressions in our subtle body are pushing us to act. Someone might say, I like to become a fighter, a wrestler. Someone says, I want to become a doctor. Someone says, I want to become a revolutionary. I want to change the face of this world. So where are these thoughts coming from? It is the inner vasanas, which is because of what we have desired in the past, what we have desired, how we have acted. All these put together forms vasanas and becomes the pushing force. Hmm? So no one can stop working. So Krishna says, Arjuna, don't stop fighting. You cannot do it. Arjuna is suggesting I'll go and take sannyas. Enough of this maya. Enough of all this illusion. Let me just take sannyas, renounce everything. Krishna says it is unnatural. You cannot simply renounce anything in this world. But one thing you can renounce is attachment to the fruits of work. So how do we come to the platform of detaching from the fruits of work? Krishna says that whatever fruits of work you have, offer back to Krishna. That means, how many of you are working in the room currently? How many of you work job? Okay. Now, how many of you work for salary? Like honestly, how many of you work for salary? Okay. How many of you work because you love the work? Okay. Now, how many of you will continue the work if salary is cut down? Isn't it? So therefore, now we understand that basically the fruit is what many a times it drives us. If that's not the 100% driving force, it is at least a 90% driving force, isn't it? No one has fallen in love with the boss. No one has fallen in love with the company, isn't it? I have seen people change, for at least IT engineers. Google is like the, to be, the dream goal. So I've seen many people leave Google and go to Amazon. Some people leave Google and maybe go to OpenAI, wherever the opportunity is there, but also where money is there, isn't it? I've never seen people leave one place and go to another place with lesser salary. Some people are there if the work is too toxic. That's another thing. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is the fruit of work is a major component, if not 100%, driving force in our motivation to work. So, how do you get detached by the fruits of work, from the fruits of work? Some part of it we have to give to Krishna. So, Krishna says that is the beginning of yoga. When you give, therefore, charity, it is mentioned in 18th chapter, tapasya, charity, and tapo, danam, and one more. What is it? Three things should not be given up even by a sannyasi. Krishna says in 18th chapter. Yajna, yeah, correct. Yajna, dana, tapasya. So, yajna, dana, tapa. He says that even the perfected beings should never give up. Yajna, sacrifice, dana, charity, and tapasya, austerities. No one should give it up, even the perfected beings. Why dana is there? The whole concept of charity is just so that we can be detached from the fruits of work. When we're giving, not that I am the giver. Krishna has given me, he has made me fortunate and given me this, but let me help God's children. That is the mood of giving. One thinks I am the giver. You are a poor, unfortunate fellow. I have gained so much in my life. Now let me give to show that I am better than you. Such giving also does not purify the heart. So therefore, Krishna is explaining in the Bhagavad Gita how to be a perfect person. First of all, a perfect person is not attached to the fruits of his work. Mm. And I was in 12th chapter also, and in 12th verse of this chapter also, Krishna says the same thing. As soon as we overcome fruitive mentality, you develop what we're all looking for: peace of mind. So, what is agitating to the mind is our attachment to the fruit. It agitates the mind. Mm. Some people say, I like it. Some people say, it is my drive to work. Krishna says, you give up attachment to fruits, you'll be peaceful. It's very agitating, fruitive mentality. So, a karma yogi in the 12th verse, Krishna is saying, Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim. In the 12th verse, he said, Karma phalam tyaktva, giving up the fruits of work, shantim apnoti naishtikim. Naishtikim means strong, fixed peace. Such a person doesn't get disturbed once one has developed detachment from fruits. Such a person is called as karma yogi, by the way. Many people say, what is this bhakti yogi? I like karma yoga. Karma karna hai. You know what karma yogi means? So this is what karma yogi means. Starts with giving up fruits of work to Krishna, but attached to activity. But later on, one has to give up even choice of activity. Work, do what Krishna wants. So at least for us, if we want peace in our life, we need to learn how to develop detachment from the fruits of work. And we don't have to give 100%. Of course, we have to develop detachment, 100% detachment from the fruits of work. But that starts by giving anything. So because Gita Jayanti is coming, at least we can purchase a Gita. If you already have, give it to your friends. If your friends have, give it to the friends of friends. You can you can purchase a box of Gitas. You can distribute it. You can. Many people are wanting to read the Bhagavad Gita because they've heard so much. I'm even talking about the Westerners. Everyone is interested to read the Bhagavad Gita. So you can donate for such purposes, and that will purify our fruitive mentality. It will help us develop detachment from the fruits of work. So last time we did the 16th verse. Let's just read the translation. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. So a devotee of Krishna understands I am actually not the doer. I am only desiring. But my desire to be fulfilled, I am dependent on so many other factors. First factor is the super soul, who is a sanctioner. And when the super soul sanctions, material nature around us arranges or facilitates such that whatever we desired for gets fulfilled. If Paramatma in the heart doesn't sanction, you can do anything you want. You can go and hit your head on the wall. Nothing is going to happen. So therefore, when suffering comes in our life, how do we view it? And we understand it is my own karma in the past. Something I've done wrong, because of which I'm present here. Last time we were discussing how it is easy to put blame on Krishna, because Krishna is on the altar always smiling. He doesn't say anything. An innocent person, you put all the blame. But we understand actually Krishna has nothing to do with it. In chapter, I think in 7th or 8th, 7th chapter, Krishna says, though I'm pervading this entire world in the form of different energies. Did we discuss here? The taste of water is one energy of Krishna. Krishna says, Rasoham apsakanteya. The taste of water is me, Arjuna. So if your friend asks you, have you seen God? You go to temple every Sunday. You say yes. Then he'll ask you, can you show me God then? You say yes, drink this water. The taste of water is Krishna. Prabhasmi shashi surya yoho. The light of the sun and the moon, that is also me. Then he says, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, the Om, the vibrations of the Vedas, that is also me. How many of you heard this Vedic hymns before? You've heard online? How many of you found it very peaceful, soothing? Krishna says that is me. And then he goes on to say, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, Shabda Ke Paurusham Nishu. Sound travels in ether. That is also me. And ability in man, takat bolte na, that is also me. Krishna says. And he goes on to say further, the smell of the earth, when rain pours on the earth, you have smelt earth, so beautiful, fragrant. Krishna says that smell is me. Punyo gandha prativyam cha. Then he says of the austerity of the austere people is also me. The brightness, balam balavatam chaham, the strength of the strong, the brightness of the bright, this is all me. Like that, 3-4 verses Krishna speaks in the 7th chapter, explaining how I've completely pervaded this universe in the form of various energies. So you cannot miss Krishna until unless you want to miss him. You cannot miss him because he is everywhere, Krishna says. But then if he is everywhere, a person can ask, if Krishna is everywhere, then he easily gets affected by things of this world, isn't it? Because Krishna says, I created everything. Now, if you have created everything, then that means if something happens to your creation, then you get affected. Krishna says, no, I don't get affected. And this is my opulence. So, how does Krishna not get affected? Because Krishna is never in direct touch with the material world. Who is in direct touch? Krishna, but not Krishna. That's his energies. Energies, through energies, he controls this entire material manifestation. So, what is Krishna doing? He's enjoying in spiritual world, isn't it? He's playing his flute, playing with the cows. One German scholar came to India to understand who is God. So he went to different temples. He went to Shakti temple, Durga, and he saw Durga has a Trishul and she has a Gora form. You have Chamundi, Kali, very ferocious forms. So he said, this cannot be God because she's in work. She's going to fight. And then he went to different temple, whether it be Ganapati or Kartikeya. Everyone had some weapon. He went to Vishnu temple. Vishnu also has weapon. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. Then finally he went to Krishna temple and he said, Krishna is God. People asked him why? Because Krishna doesn't have any weapon, only flute. Isn't it? So then he said, this must be God. Because the owner of the company doesn't have put so much work. Once a month he'll come, collect all the money and go. Isn't it? For other fellows, they have to work day and night. 9 a.m. you have to punch your card for other employees, not for the owner. Krishna is like that. Krishna is like the owner. Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, the owner of the billions of universes present. He doesn't have to do any work. All his energy is at work. So therefore Krishna doesn't get affected. So actually I was speaking this point for one reason, how Krishna doesn't get affected. What was I saying before this?
When material world gets destroyed, then he gets affected.
Yeah, that's the whole, before that. That was a concept. Yeah, that's also before. Just before that. The purpose for which I was speaking that.
Everything is sanctioned by Krishna. The super soul sanctions to before.
Very good. Yeah. Because super soul sanctions. So therefore I was saying that people when they suffer in this world, they say, Krishna's fault. So I was saying that it's easy to push the blame on Krishna, but actually it's not Krishna's fault. You are not getting joy, it's not Krishna's fault. You're not making enough money, not Krishna's fault. If you're not handsome enough or beautiful enough, not Krishna's fault. Isn't it? If you don't look like a model, not Krishna's fault. Then what is Krishna doing? Hare Krishna. So therefore, Krishna says this: these I don't interrupt the living entities in their cycle of karma. I don't interrupt. Krishna says. What does that mean? That means any karma we are accruing, how we act in this world, and the reaction we get out of it, it is our own choice. Krishna is called like the judge. The judge sometimes gives statements or judgment that someone has to be hanged, or someone should get so much money, or someone should be let free. But he has no partiality towards anyone. He is just giving the judgment. Similarly, Krishna is being a super soul, he is only sanctioning the desires. He is not showing any partiality. Name dveshyasti na priyaha, Krishna says. I am not inimical to anyone, nor am I friendly towards anyone. I am impartial, Krishna says. But also, ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maiti tesha chapyaham. But those who worship me, I give them all my favor. That's another part. But generally, Krishna doesn't. He has nothing to give and take with this material world. Only one reason he comes inside. Why? Establish of dharma. So even devotees of Krishna can do that. Establish of dharma. Yeah. Yes, to exchange love with his devotees. That's the only reason. And perform so beautiful pastimes that we can at least hear these pastimes, develop attraction, and go back to spiritual world. This is the reason why Krishna comes. This is the internal reason why Krishna comes. Everything else, killing the miscreants, he can whole what the building can fall on a person, kill him. what Krishna cannot do, right? Yeah, at least 20 more people can fit in. Yeah. So therefore, last time we were discussing about the three doers. All are doers, but to their extent, not complete doers. The soul desires, Paramatma sanctions, Prakriti arranges. Can you blame Prakriti? No. Ultimately, it all points to us. Why am I speaking this? Because when we understand this knowledge, this aspect of the three doers, how ultimately we are suffering or we are enjoying whatever, wherever we are in, whatever position we are in this world today, it's all because of my past desires or my past actions. If we can understand this, then much of misconception can be cleared away. Much of hatred toward religion, much of hatred towards God, agnostic mentality, all these things can be cleared away. Why? Because then we can question what is Krishna's role, isn't it? So, this is what we had discussed last time, and now we will proceed to today's verse. तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानस् तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्ति पुनरावृतं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः. Can one of you read? You may need. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path to liberation.
Yeah. Okay. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge means shelter. That we feel that Krishna is the only one who can help me. They're all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of all misgivings to complete knowledge. And he goes ahead to liberation. Next one. Yeah.
One question that intelligence and mind, like can you explain a little bit how intelligence and mind is it intelligence being fixed on Krishna means contemplating about Krishna?
Usually, intelligence fixed on Krishna, how I understand, it's if one is thinking, how can I please Krishna? You know, like that contemplation on Krishna Seva. It would be like that. Mind means more of Krishna name of Krishna, the form of Krishna. That is all the mind. This is my understanding. Okay. This is a very important verse and main focus of our discussion today. विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनि चैव श्वपाके च
शुनि चैव स्वपाके च
पंडिताः समदर्शिनः.
पंडिताः समदर्शिनः. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater,
Yeah.
outcast.
So a person who is really learned in knowledge, they don't see difference. They see that everything is one in quality. So what does that mean? So what does that mean? Seeing everything as one. That means a learned man learns to see that which cannot be seen. He can see something which general people cannot see. Hmm. Ever had that experience? You can see something what others cannot see, like a ghost. No, he can see something deeper. Hmm. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained as we grow in spirituality, you can see Krishna's hand in your life. How Krishna is working miracles. Sometimes it so happens one just has a sentimental belief Krishna is there. It's not really the faith of the heart. What is sentimental belief? Krishna, oh, how cute Krishna is. You know, Krishna is so nice. But it's not much of pramanik from the Shastra. It's not based, the faith is not based on Shastric evidence. So I'll give you an example. For example, someone can say, Prabhu, you have to prepare for your interviews because you have to get a job. There's not much time. Krishna will take care. Hey na Krishna. Krishna will take care. I'll just serve him. One can say. Now 1 month passed. Only 2 more months remaining. It's 12, 60 days, right? If you don't have a job. 60. 90 or 60? 90. 90. Okay, so 2 more months are there. Then you will tell your friend, Ari, now at least put some endeavor. You have to get a job. Then he says, Ari, Krishna hai na? I'll just serve him. And now 1 month remaining. And now this person is saying, Prabhu, I don't know if Krishna is there or not. Isn't it? Because abhi bhi job nahi mila. Last 2 months I have been serving Krishna only. But there's no sign of getting a job till now. Isn't it? Now, this is called a sentimental belief, where one is actually pushing one's responsibility away. So, Krishna's devotees are not irresponsible. They are the most responsible and they are most practical. So, how do we depend on Krishna? That is also given. Arjuna did not say after hearing the Gita, Kya bole Gita? You only fight the war. He didn't say that. Krishna said, you pick up the Gandiva and you fight. He can say, na, Krishna, you fight, I will massage your arms. No. So, what does it mean depending on Krishna? That is also a different thing, another thing, isn't it? So, a person who is a devotee of Krishna therefore can see Krishna's hand. Like that, he can see many subtle realities. Today, by modern science, you cannot see the spirit soul for a couple of reasons. One, it is because it's not made of Panch Mahabhut. It's subtle matter. No, sorry, it's not subtle matter. It's so subtle, it's actually spiritual. You cannot see the mind. Whatever microscope, telescope, whatever scope you may have, you cannot see the mind. But how many of you believe you have a mind? Okay, others are still doubtful. You all have a mind. We all have a mind. Where are the thoughts being processed? Hint, it's not the brain. It's not the brain. Brain has different functions. Mind is the processing unit. Where are the emotions stored? Huh? In the physical body, where are the emotions stored?
In the soul, in the heart.
Which here heart? Huh? Where in the heart? In the right side or left side of the heart? Or you have 4 partitions, right, in the heart? What is it called? Chambers. Yeah, yeah, four chambers. Which chamber of the heart?
I'm not sure.
No, none of the chambers. So where are the emotions stored? Where are thoughts, desires? Where are all these things stored? You cannot see the mind, but you know mind exists. That's where these things are stored, in the mind. Because Krishna says it is subtle matter. Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankaramiti yamme binna prakritirashtada. Eight separate energies, one of them is mind, Krishna says, and this is all material energy. So we all have a mind which is a storehouse of thoughts, desires, experiences, feelings, emotions, everything is on in the mind. That is our hard disk. And where is intelligence? Where is the reasoning happening? People say, no, don't you have any brains? It's only a saying. I don't know who coined it. We should say, don't you have any intelligence? Intelligence is subtle again. It's a subtle body. It's not the brain. Where's the reasoning happening? Should I go for party today? Should I not go? Where is it happening? Not the brain. So the subtlemost entity in our personality is called the spirit soul, and this spirit soul is, the scriptures, the Upanishads explain the size of the spirit soul is 1/10,000th, 1/10,000 of the tip of hair. That means get an electron microscope. Can you see the soul? Why?
Very small.
No, no, not antimatter. Today, antimatter in physics means something else. Yeah, it is spiritual. Yes, it is not made up of no, the physical elements. So you can never spot the soul. But can you see the soul? You cannot find it. You cannot see it through any instrument. But can you still see it? How?
Anything is like living, so we know it has a soul.
Yes. When there is life, there is a soul. See the power of knowledge? The power of knowledge is, even though you cannot see it with physical eyes, you can still see it. Similarly, when we make advancement in Krishna consciousness in spiritual life, you can see things what general people cannot see. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagati samyami yanisha samyami yasyam jagati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. Krishna says, what is the time of awakening for the materialist? The time of sleep for the spiritualist. And what is the time of awakening for the spiritualist? Time of sleep for the materialist. What does that mean? It's not about physical sleep. Krishna is saying they work opposite. The materialistic people, they depend on senses. Whatever I experience through senses, if it feels good, I go for it. If it doesn't feel good, I don't like it. Medicines are bitter. In Kannada, there's a saying, "Kahi deha kisihi." That means the what is bitter is sweet for the health. But if you depend on your senses, you will not like medicine, isn't it? So materialistic people go by sensual experiences, and more so today, intelligence is almost switched off. Everything is by experience. अच्छा लगता है, which must be correct, isn't it? Drinking, very nice, must be true, must be good, and what not other bad activities. Whatever feels good is right. Whatever feels bad is wrong. Hmm? Therefore, they say seeing is believing. That means whatever I experience, if I like it, it is very good. Sorry, it's not like that. Krishna says there is deeper aspect to truth, and that deeper aspect, to develop that vision, we need spiritual knowledge. And therefore, Krishna says, by virtue of true knowledge, you can actually see everyone is equal at one level. There's no prejudice. The soul of the rich man, the soul of Bill Gates, or say for now, the soul of Elon Musk, and the soul of a poor kid dying out of starvation in Africa is the same quality. There's no difference at all. A person with true knowledge sees the spiritual spark within the bodies. He sees the essence. Like just like if you have an exam, you're going through a textbook. Do you go through page 1 to the end, or do you look for the essence? Kya aayega kal? Essence saves you a lot of time. Similarly, the the sage who has true knowledge, he goes for the essence. Essence of all our personalities is the spiritual spark, the spirit soul. And this spirit soul is the same in nature. Hmm. So therefore, he sees a cow. What examples are given? Learned Brahmana, learned gentle Brahmana, a cow. They are same. Are they same? How can they be same? The species were different. One is an animal, one is a human, isn't it? Or a cow and an elephant, are they same? Nose size is different, isn't it? Then it says elephant and a dog, tummy size is different. Or a dog and a dog eater, isn't it? So you see, there are complete differences only on the bodily platform. This is such vital knowledge because today all the wars, all commotion, all kinds of quarrels and hypocrisy, everything is based on bodily platform. Bodily platform is very illusory. You might get attracted to the opposite sex thinking, oh, how beautiful is she? Wait for 10 years, it changes, isn't it? So bodily platform is always um, very illusory. You cannot go by the bodily platform, and it's because of the bodily platform there are wars, isn't it? Like for example, if you're from Maharashtra, you're Marathi, then you see, oh, that guy's a Gujarati. Okay, no difference. Then you are from South India, oh, he's a North Indian. Okay, difference. You're from America, and he's from South America. You not say we're Americans. They're different, isn't it? Or even both are Maharashtra, but I'm Pune or Mumbai, isn't it? I mean, how deep the differences can go, even within the family. I'm smarter, you're dull, or I'm older to you, you're younger to me, even within the family. So you can keep finding differences, but all kinds of differences exist only on bodily platform, and therefore this is the cause of wars. How many of you heard the statement, religion causes wars? Yeah, it's a famous thing. We want to debunk that. Actually, if you practice real true religion, if you practice Bhagavad Gita, then there will not be any war except Kurukshetra war. Apart from that, no other war, isn't it? Why? Because Krishna is saying, if you really develop the knowledge of soul, you will never see difference. You will understand the essence of every personality of any species is the soul, and that's how you can respect others. Sometimes you feel, yes. What's your name? Shaumik. Where are you from? Bangladesh. Yeah.
I want to ask, what about the person who's sinful? Um, wouldn't there be differences between someone who's sinful and someone who's not sinful, who's pure or something?
Yeah, very good question. So I was coming to that. So there are different angles of vision. Mm. So from the point of view of Atma Gyan, knowledge of soul, everyone is same. But when you also talk about the spiritual vision, in spiritual vision also there are neophyte devotees, there are advanced devotees, and there are pure devotees. In the Shastra, that demarcation is also given. Not that you offer same respect to a person coming into the temple as well as a sannyasi. Respect given is different, isn't it? So I'll come to that. Hmm? Good question. So as of now, we are discussing how, first of all, the basis is we understand because everyone is spirit soul, we don't care so much for the body. That means everyone deserves respect. I used to always have this question, devotees respect everyone, but some people just behave in such a way, I feel they don't deserve any respect, isn't it? When they behave in such a way, how can you give respect? But always you can appreciate one thing. At the end of the day, they are spirit soul, not the body. And that spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna's child. Can you give respect for that? Yes. Now, therefore, you can respect all living entities. And what do you mean by respecting other living entities? That means you will not harm them, isn't it? You will not cause violence. one will act in a way that is pleasing to other living entities, and therefore you can say thousands of years ago there was this complete paramahamsa minded pure devotee, and his name was Jadabharat. And this Jadabharat, he was on a different level of consciousness. He was so spiritual minded, he would see how even the ant, because there is soul, because there's Paramatma inside, Paramatma and soul different, no? Because there's Paramatma also, Krishna is also in that body. So therefore he would not even kill an ant. So this person, Jada Bharat, was once carrying helping the other ministers carry the palanquin of a king. His name was Rahugana, King Rahugana. This King Rahugana was king of the Savira Desh, it is called, which is today's Iran. And he was planning to travel all the way to India to meet Kapila to get spiritual knowledge. So on the way, as this Jadabharata was lifting his palanquin, the palanquin was completely shaking. And the king came out and said, "Hey, you ministers, what happened? Why is it shaking so much?" This is not us, it is this new guy whom we just got off the street, Jadabharat. And that person said, the king said, "Okay, be careful. Now don't shake the palanquin. Don't get me angry." And then again, they started carrying. Again, the palanquin started shaking. You know why the palanquin was shaking? Because there were all these ants on the ground. So he was trying to jump over them, maybe just step back, then jump ahead. So because of which the palanquin was shaking. Because he is on a different level of consciousness. He is able to see all our spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. How can I step on them? Yeah. So again it was shaking, and then the king came out and he chastised heavily this Jadabharat. He said, he used sarcastic tone of speech and he said, "Oh my dear Jadabharat, looks like you have been carrying my palanquin for a very long time." Actually, he just came. You use sarcasm to really pinch, right? Someone. Then he said, "Oh, you must be very frail and thin, no strength." Actually, Jadabharat was very hefty. So like that, he used sarcasm and chastised, and finally he said, "Because I am the king, if you don't carry my palanquin properly, then I shall punish you and execute you." And that time, Jadabharat, he thought, because anyway, king is going all the way to India to get spiritual knowledge. Why don't I enlighten him? And he started speaking the difference between body and soul and what is the goal of life. Immediately, in no time, king who was on the palanquin was at his feet in some time. Mm. And of course, the story of Jadabharat goes on like that. So you see, the level of thinking or consciousness of a Paramahamsa is completely different. It's not like you and me. The way they see the world is different. And that is because they've cultivated spiritual knowledge. Now the question comes, as Shomik pointed out, does that mean we give equal respect, equal dealing, equal benefits to everyone? No? Why not?
Because some darshate but not some vartate. We would see everyone as equal, but we shouldn't behave with everyone as
Why? Yeah, question is why.
because like I mean we like let's say if someone is a saint, right? And if someone is a killer, right? So we would not go and like touch a killer's feet and tell him like, you know what, bless us, give us more knowledge so we can execute, you know, like we can go further in this field. But we would go to a saint and touch that saint's feet, that you know, enlighten us, give us some knowledge. But at the
Correct.
same time, we understand like both have a soul inside them, but
Yes.
we cannot.
So therefore, how do we behave in this world? Thank you. How do we behave in this world? We deal with respect with everyone, all the species, all the living entities, but at their position. Respect at their position. We give respect for this position. Traditionally, I mean, today dog has a different position. Traditionally, dog was never allowed inside homes. I I've seen some dogs. They don't like. I was somewhere, one place, and there they had a huge dog, this big dog, and very friendly, more cowardly dog. No, it can bark loudly and everything, but it is a little coward, and it would always smell little bad. Then I was talking on on the phone with my brother, and I told him, this dog is smelling very bad, and he said, actually, all dogs, they don't generally smell very nice. And you'll also see the habits of a dog. They usually like to smell bad things. So according to Vedic scriptures, dogs are not a very high grade animal in with respect to their modes of material nature. They have some tamasic animal. You have a dog? Okay. So naturally, yes. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Kal Bhairav sits on a dog? Yeah, I mean Ganesh sits on a mouse. So that mouse is different than the mouse on the in your room. Yeah. Oh, the Shastras say it's tamasic animal. Shastras categorize all the animals into sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. For example, what is tiger? Is it sattvic? No, no. But Durga sits on tiger. Oh yeah. So their vahanas or their vehicles are considered separate. Mm. But whereas generally in this world, when you see a dog or when you see a rat is going, eating garbage. They live in dirty places. Naturally, it's tamasic. Mm. Like that. So therefore, you deal differently, isn't it? So generally, in traditionally, the dogs would be fed outside the home, not even inside the gate of the compound. Outside, just give them some food. That is respect. You respect the dog, but at its level because it is not very clean. But cow, in Griha Pravesh, you bring the cow inside the home. You've seen that? You bring the cow inside the home. There's go puja, and people drink the urine of the cow, and you bathe with the dung of the cow, isn't it? So cow, whatever comes out of cow except the meat, everything's auspicious. Isn't it? Prabhupada would say, if you're so attracted to drink the blood of the cow, drink cow's milk, because cow's milk is formed by blood of the cow, but in a sanctioned manner, that God has provided. Isn't it? And he would say, if you think you can challenge God, you make a machine where you can eat, you can put input grass, and other end you get milk. Isn't it? Such technology, God's technology. Isn't it? So now cow is sattvic animal, and you can see how is it sattvic? It's highly sensitive. In Mumbai, there's this very famous lady. Her name is Sindhutai Sapta. So, and you can read her story online, very touching. And when she was actually thrown out of the home because someone framed her, and she was pregnant, and she was hit brutally by her husband and kicked out of the home, she finally went to this cow shed, and she was just lying there. And it was about time that she almost delivered her baby, but she did not know how can she deliver because open cow shed. That time, a mother cow came and protected her, and was just sitting beside her or just blocking her so that she could deliver the child. Mother understands another mother, isn't it? Mother cow. And therefore, Shastras say that we have 7 mothers. One of them is cow. Hmm. So, cow is sattvic animal. So, how do you deal with cow? You cannot deal with dog. How you deal with dog? You cannot deal with tiger. Not the tiger, you come to the gate, I'll give you food. Stay in forest, I stay at home. But you respect. All are spirit souls with different body, different swabhava. Some people are very angry, they have a lot of anger issues. You respect them from distance, isn't it? Why? Because soul is very pure, but the conditioning they've acquired by being in this world, the body they've acquired, the conditioning, the swabhava, the vasanas, it is not very palatable. So you keep distance from such people. Some people will pull you into bad habits. You respect them because they're also spirit soul. At the same time, you don't have to follow them. Respect means you respect for their existence. Not that you also do what they are doing, bad habits especially. So, like this, a Vaishnava or a Krishna conscious person clearly can make the distinction that first of all, first level of understanding is everyone is equal. Don't go by the race. Don't say, hey, Malayali must be eating coconut every day. You know? Or I've seen this another multiple times happening that someone is not driving properly and they say must be a woman driving. Yeah, I've seen this generally. So it doesn't depend on the body. So with that respect, understand, go deeper, open your eyes to understand you are the spirit soul, not the body. And second level, deeper, second level of knowledge is, yes, we are all, everyone is equal because everyone is a spirit soul, but at the same time, that spirit soul has different body. It's not the same body. So according to the body, you have to deal with them. Dealings change, but vision is same. So everyone is to be respected. Yeah, a bum on the street, you have to respect. Mm. We should not say that he's what is he doing, or we cannot be in a condemning attitude towards anyone because everyone is child of God. And look at the kindness of Krishna. Krishna expands as a super soul, and he is occupying the heart of every living entity, including the cockroach. In the heart of the cockroach, Paramatma is there. Paramatma is there in the worm present in the stool of a living entity. Paramatma is there also, isn't it? See, look at the kindness of Krishna. So a devotee sees my Lord is everywhere. So who am I to distinguish? So he deals everyone with respect. Hmm? And therefore Chanakya says, whenever you look at a woman apart from your wife, look at them as mother. Matravat paradareshu. Whenever you look at something that doesn't belong to you, you look at it as garbage. Though you don't put your hand in garbage, right? Unless you're crazy. No one puts their hand in garbage. So, Matavat Paradareshu Paradraveshu Laushtravat. And how do you deal with others? He says, deal with others as you would like them to deal with you, with kindness. Hmm? Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu, like oneself. Yap Pashyati Sapanditaha. Learned person deals in this way, isn't it? So, therefore, um, if we the practice of true knowledge of Gita is to live like this in society. Just imagine if we all lived like this in society with great respect towards everyone, all kinds of nationalities, not saying like some people I know in India, they say, what, how can Westerners learn Bhagavad Gita? They're not a Brahminical family, it's all complete prejudice. So when we all live like that in society, it would be a much better place, isn't it? So this is Bhagavad Gita knowledge, the power of Gita knowledge. And at the same time, deal in a way, according to the species and according to the many other physical factors, but respect everyone. If you learn to respect everyone, then you will also be respected. Mm. I will conclude with this, and of course, I will just go through another verse. I'll conclude with this. Actually, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, when he hitchhiked to India, and he was living like a sage in the forests. So he met many of the yogis in India, and one of the yogis taught him how to deal while being in the forest because so many wild creatures are there. So how can you meditate in the forest? You cannot meditate in the temple. Sometimes you are chanting Hare Krishna, you are worried. Prasad khatam ho jayega, isn't it? How can you chant peacefully? Just think about meditating in the forest. Any animal can come and attack you, snake can bite you, so dangerous. But he would meditate in the forest, and he says that he learned this art, how to deal with other creatures in the forest. And the basis of whatever skill he learned is learn to truly respect the other living entity. When they find that you are not a threat to them, you respect the living entity, they don't harm you. This is the fundamental basis of how to deal with other creatures. I mean, what to talk about humans, isn't it? So when we are inimical towards someone, people can feel it. When we are friendly towards someone, like from the heart, people know, people get the vibrations or vibes. So therefore, in this way, when we truly respect everyone, we can be spreading, we can be a walking, talking emitter of positive vibrations, spiritual vibrations, Krishna conscious vibrations. And that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. This is how a yogi behaves, a perfected yogi. Mm. So we'll just conclude with the next verse. You can read the purport. This is vedabase.io. All the books are available for free. And this is 5.18. I'll conclude with this. Ihaiva terjit. Someone had question? Oh, yeah.
So, Prabhu, you mentioned that someone has like a sentimental belief in Krishna. So he thinks like, okay, if I have this work, Krishna will help me do this,
Yeah,
or Krishna will take care of this. So is it right to say if someone has like true belief in Krishna, he do his work and then he thanks Krishna to be able to do that work?
correct. There are two extremes on this. Mm, and both are sentimental belief. One sentimental belief is what I told you, that one says Krishna will take care. I don't have to worry, and he doesn't do. He becomes completely irresponsible. On the other hand, one says that I'm a very spiritual person. Krishna is only working through me, and he doesn't get one minute to chant Hare Krishna because he's a workaholic. He always works. He's dominating. He's controlling. He wants to take his career ahead. Everything is fine, but he doesn't get to chant Hare Krishna, not for Krishna. And then you tell him, Prabhu, you have to give some time to Krishna also. He says, Prabhu, I'm depending on Krishna. Krishna is only working through me. Isn't it? There's another extreme of taking material responsibility so seriously that he has no time for Krishna. Therefore, the art of balance of work is we give time for spiritual duties as well as material duties. Yeah. Yes.
I have one quick
Yeah.
question. Going back to the tiger
Yeah.
example, say you have a gun and you're walking in the jungle, right? Just to protect yourself on the off chance. And you respect the tiger, but you come across it anyways. And that thing's about to jump on you.
You're walking in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
So don't use your gun because
Okay,
you're not
yeah.
supposed to walk in the jungle. It's like saying, say, tiger was walking in your home,
Uh-huh.
and then yeah, it looked at you. Of course, then you can shoot the tiger because it's in your land. The
Okay.
problem is we encroach their land.
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So how would you like handle that situation? Like
And
if
do
you
the
were to go
practical.
trekking through the jungle.
Spirituality is very practical. So do the needful. Save yourself. Shoot his leg.
Got it.
Yeah.
Arjun,
Yeah.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
I have a query.
Yeah.
That I was going through a session between the laws of karma.
Correct.
So there was a query in my mind that if a person who does not gain the knowledge that what is right or wrong, the law of karma, does it affect him, or is it absolute? That if a person that he takes illicit activity, he eats non-veg food and another
Without
thing,
knowledge,
yeah, yeah,
it excuses
he
him.
does not have the knowledge. So does the Krishna punish him according to the law of karma?
Yeah. So Krishna doesn't punish. He gets punished by law of karma.
Okay.
Krishna has nothing to do with it.
Is the law of karma absolute?
Yes, I can. So Sri Prabhupada gives the example of, say, a small child. He puts a hand in the fire. Now, will the fire burn? Or fire says, take a child, no problem. Or adult, let me burn you. No. Fire is equal to all. It burns anyone. So similarly, the law of karma also acts. And it is said if one doesn't know, oh, I didn't know about law of karma, I didn't know this is bad, that is good. That's one's own problem. It's like coming to the US and driving on the right hand side, no, left hand side, isn't it? Now you cannot say I never knew the traffic laws. Very fact that you came to the US, you're supposed to know it. Similarly, the very fact that you're in the material world, you're supposed to know what are the laws governing it. Ignorance is not excuse.
I have a query then,
Yeah.
follow-up question. If a soldier fights for his country
Mm.
and he kills another people and another person, so is he going to get the deepest of hell because he committed murder of another living entity of higher consciousness and God is impartial?
Yeah. So there are many other factors that come into play because defense is another thing. When you kill out of defense, like Dharma Shastra says, and Arjuna tells this to Krishna in the first chapter of the Gita. He uses the word Atatayinaha. So Atatayis are aggressors. Dharma Shastra says the aggressors have to be killed. Who are the 6 aggressors, if I can remember? One is one who kidnaps one's wife, can be killed. One who attacks one with deadly weapons can be killed. One who sets fire to the home can be killed. One who occupies another's land can be killed. And 2 more are there. So like that, actually, Shastra is very widespread to understand the deeper, as not deeper, but many other variety of aspects. We have to refer to all the different kinds of Shastra. So there's Dharma Shastra which addresses such questions. But we can say that consciousness behind the act also is a big factor. If someone says, I'm protecting India, which houses the Vedic culture, I'm protecting the Vedic culture. That means you're protecting God consciousness. Because if Vedic culture is attacked, and then there's no God consciousness. So that means it is dharma. So then one doesn't get. But one says, I'm killing for the fun of it. I like to kill. Then you get. So the intent behind the act also matters.
So coming forward on that question, that the Aghoris take everything as a take a part of that Lord only. So they do anything and consume anything and
Hmm.
offer it as
Whole
God.
big the big question is not what they do, on what basis do they do?
Yeah.
Where is the Shastra for their acts? Which Shastra do they refer to? Many of the Shaivais, in the name of Shiva, they drink. In the name of Shiva, they smoke.
So you saying like Aghoris are not sadhaks, or they are like,
Our question is, where are the scriptures? Simple.
so you're questioning their identity.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the scriptures? I'm questioning one's blind faith. So whatever we practice, I can show the scripture for it. Anyone, you take any spiritual organization, take any spiritual path, whatever it is, you can always say on what basis are you doing it. Today, tomorrow, I can create a school, the Arjuna school of thought, and I can propagate my own practices and say somehow a lot of people came, and it's a widespread movement to 30 years down the line. Now someone will say from ISKCON, this Arjuna school of thought, what nonsense is this? Where is the scriptural basis? You can ask, and means you're challenging them. Yes, of course. There's no scriptural basis, we don't have to follow them. However famous they may be, however popular they may be, it's not based on popularity. Spiritual path is based on truth, isn't it? Today, whatever satisfies our ego, whatever satisfies our sensual demands, that becomes popular, isn't it? Some person will say, yeah, you eat and smoke, you eat whatever you want, do any bad habits, just chant this mantra and just take my name. Yeah, it becomes a very famous religion, isn't it? But yeah, what we challenge, because true absolute knowledge comes from the Vedas, and there's a whole seminar for that. Can we put faith in Vedas? That's another seminar. So we always take Shastric knowledge. We don't go by face value of anything. Yeah, and it's a very known thing that Shaivites, in the name of Shiva, they do wrong things. Yeah, when did Shiva drink bang? I don't know. And even if he drinks bang, did he get intoxicated like they get? That's another thing.
Oh, there's a reason why he drank it.
No, no, but where is given is he drank it? Yeah, and even today's scriptures also manipulated.
Yeah, because
Many of the Puranas are manipulated, isn't it? So therefore, we have to go. If you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna never. Bhagavatam says, "Dyutam panam striya shuna yatra adharma chaturvidaha." The four types of adharma is dyutam panam striya shuna. That means meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication. Bhagavatam says, and this is the final scripture which has the essence of all scriptures. So, so therefore, like that, I can quote I can quote scripture for whatever statement I make, because we go by scriptures. Hmm? Is that okay, Prabhu? Okay. So, did we read this verse? Did we read this? So maybe we'll do this next time. It's already time, and or we can just quickly just read through it. Ihaiva tejitas sargo येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः. Translation.
Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like
Brahman.
Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahma.
Brahman means spiritual platform. So what is being said? If one can learn to deal with situations, with people, with different kind of, whatever position, whatever we are put in, we learn to deal with equanimity of mind. Samam yoga uchyate. Krishna says in fifth chapter, second chapter. Krishna says, Samam yoga uchyate. If you want to, if your mind has to be on the spiritual platform, you need to learn to deal with situations and people, things, everything equally, at an equal platform. And this comes by practice. It's not that it will descend or you can imitate it. It won't work, but it has to be practiced. Samam yoga uchyate. So we'll continue from here next time. Thank you all of you for your kind, patient hearing. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Shri Prabhupada ki. So for all of you, prasadam is kept in the restaurant, just in case you don't know. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Oh, and next Sunday we'll be back for Sunday. Hare Krishna. Thank you all the online devotees. Yes.
Can we ask questions?
Sure, online you can ask.
Prabhuji, in one of the sections you mentioned that it's the mind that desires. By coming in interaction with the three modes of nature and